The Sydney rock oyster is an iconic part of our marine life and a popular seafood delicacy. The Sydney Institute of Marine Science has been funding research into the impact of pollution caused by urban and industrial runoff on this species. This research is being extended by doctoral fellow Arun Melwani of Macquarie University, who is examining the significant genetic changes which have been identified in Sydney rock oysters.
My research is looking at genetic adaptation. So I'm looking for genes and proteins that are in the oyster gills and in their blood that might tell us about whether they are been genetically adapted to dealing with these effects of contaminants. There's a thought that they've now just over time, there's been so much stress from the contaminants and from other kind of effects on the water that they're now just able to tolerate the conditions. And we see Sydney rock oysters throughout the harbor. So is it that they are now tolerant, or is there a possibility that they are showing these transient responses that could change over time? So if we are able to clean up some of these coastal areas, that those responses will go away and they'll become healthy again.
Previous research has already linked pollution to the abnormal development and growth of Sydney rock oysters. Although he is still investigating the longevity of this change, Mr. Melwani predicts that environmental stress may have altered this species permanently.
I think that we're more likely to see genetic adaptation because the types of responses that we're seeing occur over a wide range of stressors. So whether it's contaminants, whether it's a change in salinity or temperature, we're still seeing the same kinds of proteins responding. So it kind of says to me that we have a more of a kind of generic response to stress. And so you may not think that a slight change in temperature or a slight change in pH is really stressing them out, but their proteins are showing the same response. So my feeling is that is going to suggest that we're seeing a kind of response in their proteins that is long-term and is probably not likely to change.
Hhowever, farmers of commercial oysters are urging consumers not to worry about the quality of their produce. Bruce Alford is coordinator of the Hawkesbury River Shellfish Program and secretary of the Broken Bay Oyster Association. Mr. Alford says that there are strict protocols in place to combat any contamination and ensure consistent product quality.
And also the public, because there's all these perceptions out there that you might see dirty water or something and equate it to bad quality water, where it might be just a rain event where there's a bit of mud being washed into the river. Or recently we had floods where the spillway from the Warragamba Dam was opened. So for 3 or 4 months there was a lot of mud and silt coming down the river, so we were shut for that period of time. But you've got to educate the public that our water quality for our oyster areas, our harvest areas, are second to none, and the procedures we've got in place to keep that water quality as in pristine conditions takes a lot of man hours and a lot of monitoring, working closely with Hornsby Council and Gosford Council, and it's it's a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort.
This has been Kate Burgess for UTS News.